It's good to be with you this morning. Still going to get a little rain today. I think Friday's supposed to be a pretty day, so we'll see. In the book of John, 14th chapter, verses 12 through 14, it talks about what we can do in the name of Jesus. It says, I assure you that one who believes in me will also do the works that I do, and he will do even greater works than these because I am going to the Father. Whatever you ask in my name, I will do, so that the Father may be glorified in the Son. If you ask me anything in my name, I will do it. How does this help us as Christians? Well, God's greatness can show through us. A good illustration of this is one that was in our books of illustrations that I thought was really neat. Donald Gray Barnhouse writes, aboard a United States submarine in the waters of the Pacific, a sailor was stricken with acute appendicitis. The nearest surgeon was thousands of miles away. Pharmacist mate Weller Lipps watched the man's temperature rise to 106 degrees. His only hope was an operation, said Lipps. I have watched doctors do it. I think I could. What do you say? The sailor consented. In the wardrobe about the size of a Pullman drawing room, the patient was stretched out on a table beneath a floodlight. The mate and assisting officers, dressed in reverse pajama tops, masked their faces with gauze. The crew stood by the diving planes to keep the ship steady. The cook boiled water for sterilizing. The tea strainer served as an antiseptic cone. A broken-handled scalpel was the operating instrument. Alcohol drained from the torpedoes was the anesthetic. Bent tablespoons served to keep the muscles open. After cutting through the layers of muscle, the mate took 20 minutes to find the appendix. 2.5 hours later, the last catgut stitch was sewed, just as the last drop of ether gave out. 13 days later, the patient was back at work. Admittedly, this is a much more magnificent feat than if trained surgeons in a fully equipped operating room of a modern hospital had performed it. Studying this analogy, you will know the real meaning of Christ's words, greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto the Father. For Christ, perfect God, to work directly on a lost soul to quicken and bring out of death and into life is great. But for him to do the same thing through us is a greater work. You never know what God's going to call us to do. And we need to depend upon him because, as he said, these things you will do and greater than these if we trust in the Lord. I don't know what God's going to call you to do today, but be prepared. You can do it. He doesn't give us any kind of task that he doesn't equip us for. God bless you. Have a great morning.